Howdy howdy, Zach Scott here with another tutorial walkthrough. I'm making sure to not use my shitty microphone today, so hopefully this won't be offensive to your ears. Anyway, today I'm just going to go through a DMX for a video I released recently, the Turret Anthem. It's done fairly good. I'm pretty pleased with how people have been receiving it. I was always planning to do this, but somebody asked me today to do a walkthrough of it, so I'm just going to do that right now. So, I don't know if there are a ton of amazing things in here. It's mostly just solid, but there aren't that many great tricks. But I'll show you what I can see. And if anything jumps out, I'll make sure to point it out. But like before, I'm just going to start with this DMX and kind of roll through it. Let me make sure I'm not outputting a ton of sound here so that you guys don't get lots of noise. Okay, yeah. Looks like all the audio tracks are broken anyway, so that's good. As soon as I finished this project, I totally ended up having to nuke my entire SFM, so some things are broken in here as well. This is a fun project that I've been working on for a long time. It's evolved quite a bit. First thing off the bat, you'll see that I'm not using the actual GLaDOS chamber. I've gone in and rebuilt the chamber using the models that it's made out of. Within Black Void, you'll notice I've just got all these arms sitting out here in the ether. I'd turn on lighting, but it's quite slow. I don't even have a proper floor, just piles and piles of turrets. If you're curious as to whether or not I actually placed hundreds of turrets, I did not. I simply placed tens, I think a little shy of 50, of these big chunks of turrets. You can find these guys in Portal 2. I think it's just called the Dead Turrets model. There's 3 of them. I like to find these kind of cluster models and use them to build large chunks of the environment. Let me just pull that out here so you can see what it is a bit better. Yeah, see? So it's just a single model with a bunch of low-quality turrets in it. So I just used that to quickly iterate a nice floor here. You'll see I've used this effect in a couple of other places. I love it. It's great. It's fun to make a whole bunch of things look like It's fun to make it look like I made tons and tons and tons of turrets when I didn't, so that's fun. I retextured the GLaDOS wall panels to be white instead of black, because black just didn't work well with the lighting. Some people asked me how I animated GLaDOS herself, so I'm going to quickly kind of run through that. I do not have an IK rig for her. It would be awesome if somebody could make one, but that is quite a task, mostly because of her arms. Let's see if I can find her in the pile of giant things here. I actually cheated a little bit with her. She has, she normally has 4 pistons that connect from her neck to her head. Those were a real pain in the ass, so I just moved them away from her so that you can't see them, and so far nobody has noticed, though I'm sure somebody will now. Fun thing about GLaDOS is she is one big rope, kind of. It's a bit of a simplistic way to look at it, but you can see she has a nice long tail which has 5 nice joints which rotate. See here how I'm just rotating them, how she's just swinging around the top one. That's what you'll get by default, but the great thing about animating a rope is that you can do it easily. I know that didn't make a lot of sense, but I'll show you in a second here. So if you take a look at her tail here, as I rotate it, it's just rotating on the spot. Great little feature in SFM is the ability to change how the rotation is handled. So if I right-click on my widget, I can go to rotation mode. By default, it's set to world. I can change it to local, which will now rotate all of these bones, these 5 bones, in relative to themselves. So you'll see now, as I rotate her, it's actually bending each bone by the same amount, which makes it super easy to make this kind of flexy wiggly tutorial. Flexy wiggly motion, sorry. I'm going to do another tutorial on that exact thing for fingers. But it makes it, it's a pretty easy way to kind of get the basic movement of her down, especially when you include the center and the center Z here, so she can just really start kind of bending. Because at the end of the day, she's just one long series of bones, and you just bend her around. She's got this shoulder bone, which is really great. Whoops, not that one, this one, which is great. The important thing to note when you're working with GLaDOS is she's a robot, so many of her things, her bones are meant to rotate only on certain axes. So, for example, if you look at this, I don't actually think that was meant to rotate left and right. Actually, I think that was only meant to rotate up and down. I'm not sure. She's a very complicated rig. I just wanted to point out that I didn't really use anything special here. It's once you get the concept that she's just a big rope, she's fairly easy to deal with pose to pose. Her head is awesome. She's got some great little nodes in there. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, I don't know if there's much more I can say about that. But I had this pretty much built out. So I've built this movie actually 3 times. It actually was a completely different movie, and it changed back to this one, then it changed back to another one, then it changed back to this one. So I've done all the animation for quite a while. I pretty much animated every single thing throughout the entire song, so all of these clips tend to have all the turrets from all the different parts. You can see the various robot arms. There's Animal King in the background. There's a Redneck Turret. He's the best. So, shit, what else is there? Let's just scrub through. So, as we're playing, she's just standing around. I had a nice fade in with the lights. She rotates around. We look up at the turret. Lighting these guys was kind of tricky with the whole circular thing. Also, shooting this video was very difficult given that everything is arranged in a circle. So, to get around this, I just played completely fast and loose with the actual physical placement of anything. You'll notice I move GLaDOS around in the circle quite a bit. On some of these, you might see her just kind of jumping back and forth between points. Really, she only goes where she's useful. Whoa, what is breaking that? What the hell is happening there? Oh, yeah. Okay, I know why that's broken. I had that giant pulse wave particle, which is now broken. Yeah, so she's just a big rope, and she moves around. I break all of continuity. Let's see. We got this one turret. These big arms were a real pain in the ass to deal with. They were never actually supposed to move. In fact, I think if I bring one up here, I think it's A4 finale platform. Okay. I'll show you what these arms looked like before I straightened them out. A4 finale. These are the only arms big enough for me to use. But if I open up this finale platform arm, let's see, where are you at? There ye be. Aha. It's a huge bent up arm that Wheatley sticks you on. It just happens to have a nice number of bones here. But by default, it's all twisted. So there are a couple of clipping issues with these arms simply because they were very, very difficult to manage. But that's not that interesting. Yeah, let's see. Yep. So I got the box cube. Box cube is awesome. He's just the back half of one of the hermit crab turrets, just stuck onto the body of a regular turret. I think if I I just ripped the body off of a turret and stuck a cube on him and called it a day. I like the way it turned out. It's pretty broken in a lot of places. As for this, so if we continue on, nothing crazy here. Some more turrets coming out of various places. To do most of the animation, I used the personality turret rig by Rantus. It's a great little rig, gives us some super badass controls over the turret, makes them very flexible, which is nice. Let's see, I can maybe demonstrate some of that here. So if I grab this guy, he's got his pelvis. Wait, no, that's not it. He's got his base. Yeah. So it's just a little IK rig that lets them move around and keep their legs planted so I can walk them around easily. They also have eyelids as well. Moving on. A lot of I do a lot of these quick kind of cheat cuts. So what we have here is it looks kind of like one complete camera move, but it's actually 2 shots. I'm just panning left on one shot and then panning right or in from the left on the other shot. and at the right speed, it kind of feels nice and great. Though once I put lighting in here, it kind of made it a little less seamless than I wanted it to be. Yep, nothing super crazy here. With these turrets, as for the eyes opening and closing, if you don't know how to do that, I can show you, or rather not opening and closing, but contracting and expanding. The way Valve had set these up is pretty great. Wait, what is show hidden? Show hidden. Where are you? Hidden? Oh man, I hit it. That's not show hidden. Show hidden. I guess that works. Okay, so the way Valve set these guys up is with a... Wait. Eyeball light? Which one is the eyeball? Yeah. Yeah. So the way Valve set these eyes up, if you look at the eye, it's kind of basic. It's just this red chunk of the eye, and then it just has a black piece behind it. And when you intersect the two, because the chunk of the eye is kind of cone-shaped, as you can see, when you intersect the two, from the back, it just clips through the back, and you see the black through it, and it looks like the pupil is expanding when it's really not. And it's this is something that every turret has. It's pretty great. Peabody and Atlas work the same way. Peabody and Balls work the same way. And it's pretty fun. Moving on. Got Fat Turret. She's a lot trickier because her red eye part is very far forward from her black back section. I can show you what her eye is supposed to normally look like, which is very, very sunken. Whoops, sorry, not that piece. This piece? No, not that piece. That piece? No, not that piece. Oh, none of her bones are named correctly either. She was never really meant to be used that much. What is your bone named? Why? Alright, I don't know if I can find it. I have no idea what the hell it's named. All I know is it's named something dumb. Anyway, if by default it's way sunk back in there, so that's why you don't see her dilating her eyeball much. Moving on. So I have the big turret coming in from the back. That's cool. Oh yeah, here's where I have the big bounce. I can show you the big bounce. I had this idea for the... actually, this is the whole reason I did the film, was to have the giant turret doing these huge epic notes that just knock everything in the room around. I ultimately scaled it not necessarily down, but in a different direction by using particles instead of animating every single thing. You'll notice the particles are not here right now. That's because of a bug in Source Filmmaker where particles tend to not necessarily always reload when you open the map. But you can easily manually get around this. I'm just going to drop into the particle editor, go to my recent things. Where is turrets? I got to browse to it. It's in my particles. Whoops. Particles? Zach's particles. Turrets. Awesome. So you can see in here I have a few things that I had built. There's some dots, which I didn't use. There's something. There's some more stuff. Spraying stuff. The turret pumps. Oh, here we go. So I have this is a complex particle system. So what I have here is this guy. Where's turret pump? Turret pump. Awesome. This guy. So I have a big particle which drops, which launches about 150 turrets and boxes and cubes up in the air. It's a 5-part, I believe, particle system. Oh, just, yeah, 5 parts. I've got in here cubes, boxes, and turrets which don't fly quite as high, and then I have a couple of tiles that fall off the sky here. I'll cover this in a more in-depth complex particle system tutorial, probably next week. But yeah, it's pretty coal stuff. I was able to get around it. They won't collide with the ground though, so I never show them hitting the ground. It nicely gets around that issue. If I go back into my folder or file, you will now see the turrets are now bouncing. Awesome. You want to get a better look at that? I can pull back and locate the direction they're coming from. Yeah, so if you see here, you can see they're just coming straight up out of the ground and then passing right back through it. But it works, so, you know, especially there. That shot looks great. I love that. That big purple thing is a big, it was a big distortion field that kind of comes out as a pulse wave. Looks like the texture's broken, so I'm not sure why that is. Yeah. Here's another one of those kind of sneaky edits. I pan the camera down to follow the turrets dropping, and then I continue to pan down into the next shot. And it feels pretty nice. Yep. Let's see here. I have this turret. He jumps onto Gladys. While he's doing it, his legs completely fuck up. I can show you that if I get close enough. Yeah, his legs are all jacked up, but it's fast enough that nobody notices. He jumps on her. She looks up. This guy bounces. These gun bullets, muzzle flashes. When I did this, I didn't know quite as much about particles, and I didn't feel like completely redoing his muzzle flashes. The way these are set up is really stupid. They just fire continuously, and I simply move them in and out of the frame. Instead of ever turning off, they're just teleporting away and teleporting back over the course of a frame or two. You can see on these lines here, that's them traveling way down low. Yep, not the best way to do something, but you know, if you don't know how to do it right, that still shouldn't stop you from doing it. And another one of that same sneaky edit right there, kind of dropping back down in there. We have these guys coming in the corner. The violin turrets, which are definitely my favorite of all the turrets, mostly because I could get pretty expressionistic with the way I'm dealing with them. Unfortunately, they kind of fall out of sync, and I don't entirely show them as much as I wanted to. But nonetheless, they're pretty cool and fun. Yep. So they move around. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. Gotta love that shot. Another good way to start a cut here, you'll see, is I'm coming in really fast and then just settling on the turrets as I pan around. It's adds a nice bit of dynamic movement into your scene, and it's a really easy trick to do. Something that can be really adapted to almost any kind of shot. Yep. Cut in, and we cut in again on these small guys. Another one of the tricky edits. I really kind of wanted to take this tricky edit out, but I didn't. Yep, these guys keep going. More trickery here. I think GLaDOS is pretty warped. I also have half of the floor is missing. This thing is not really sitting on anything. This turret is not really touching the ground entirely. All of these, like if you watch these arms, they completely change position entirely, so super cheating here. But you know, if nobody notices a cheat, then it's just fine. GLaDOS is completely upside down as well, her head. Mostly because of a clipping issue, I inverted her head just for this one shot. Arm comes out and hooks in, sucks this turret in, and clamps down. This other turret presses this button. Cool stuff happens. GLaDOS screams nicely with the music. Where's that turret that's just floating in the final render? Oh, he's a little bit later. Okay. Cool. So again, these guys have moved positions. It's just, I'm literally just playing it. I'm really playing it fast and loose with how and where anything is at any given time. So yep, continuing on. I think there's another cheat in there. see, I just flipped the entire thing around just for this shot, because if previously you'll notice it's facing away from her, Gladys that is, and then you'll see coming up that it is facing towards her. I cheat. Cheating is fun. What? Yeah, okay. Cool. And there he is. I think that's because this shot is a complete reversal of this shot. Well, sorry, this shot. So I think this guy, who's just sitting here floating over here, is the turret that presses the button from the previous shot. But since I've completely rotated, I forgot to delete him and didn't notice he was on screen. This guy, this turret, the pink turret on the GLaDOS body, all I did to make this guy was I chopped off GLaDOS's head. Literally, this is the same model as before, I just moved it way off screen. And I think it might even be down there somewhere. And I just attached the turret onto it. I sucked the back leg up, and it just has some really basic kind of animation going on. Yep. It's nothing fancy here. I cheated in a floor. That's nice. More straightforward stuff. Nothing crazy going on. Still nothing crazy. Yep. Yeah, I think we've really gotten through anything that's super interesting here. Unless anything jumps out at me. Yep. That's it. That's pretty much all there was going on. It's a fairly straightforward video. It's all just the main synchronization of all the turrets. Which, in hindsight, I probably didn't need to do the entire song for every single turret, since they're not all on screen for the entire time. But you know, you live and learn. Yeah. I can show you guys the other version of this, which kind of failed. Oh, I gotta drop it in the folder. Hang on. Let me just set that file up for 1 second. Never mind, it looks like that other file's completely dead and gone, so I can't show you that. Bummer. Oh well. Okay, I hope you learned something. That was cool, though. Thanks for enjoying the video. I'm pretty shocked at how much publicity it got. That was cool. So yeah, see you guys later. I got some really cool stuff I'm working on, so you'll enjoy that when it comes out. So just keep your eyes on this channel. Take it easy.